The Pittsburgh Steelers have done it. They signed one more player to finally get their offseason roster to the max, 91 players. And that player that they signed is defensive tackle Willington Previlon. They claimed him off of waivers from the Atlanta Falcons on Friday. So, before we get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like the video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, yesterday was a busy day for the Steelers, not in terms of big name signings, but they signed two players. I already made a video on Jacob Copeland, in which the Pittsburgh Steelers signed and released Denzel Mims as a corresponding move. Well, the Steelers, not too long after, have also claimed defense tackle Willington Previn off of waivers, getting their roster now to the 91 max. And the corresponding move that they had to make with that was also a couple days ago. They released Trenton Thompson, safety. So now the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were at 91, they got down to 89, but now they're back up to 90 men on their roster and completing their offseason roster. This came as a shock to many fans because the Pittsburgh Steelers released Denzel Mims and released Trenton Thompson, and many people thought those players had a good chance to end up making this team. But no, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they cut them, and then many people were wondering, was this going to be a big move where they open up roster spots, a safety spot for maybe Justin Simmons, or were they opening a wide receiver spot in order to trade for Brandon Aiyuk? Well, no, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they decided just to sign some guys who may not end up making the final roster and may just be practice squad guys. But they filled out their roster now. And just going over who defensive tackle Willington Previn is, because I've done an introduction on every new player we've gotten so far this offseason, so let's talk about Willington Previn. He went to college at Rutgers and also went undrafted in the 2020 NFL Draft. At his Scarlet Knights Pro Day, he stood at 6'5", 287 pounds, and had 34-inch arms. In college, he recorded 71 career tackles, in which he had 11.5 for loss. He also added 4 sacks and 3 pass deflections. But like I said, after 2020, when he went undrafted, he signed with the Green Bay Packers as an undrafted free agent, and he is yet to appear in an NFL game. He spent most of his rookie season on the Green Bay Packers practice squad, and was carried until final cutdowns the following year in 2021. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they signed him to their practice squad in October of that year and carried him on it until the 2022 season through it, spending the fall and winter on the practice squad. After being waived by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in August of 2023, the Dallas Cowboys then picked him up and added him to their practice squad for most of the season, before then cutting him in January. But then, after that team, after the Cowboys, the Atlanta Falcons, they decided to sign him to reserve slash future contract after the season, meaning that he never played for Arthur Smith before getting cut earlier this week. So, obviously, the Pittsburgh Steelers are getting someone who basically has no experience in the NFL at playing at a real NFL game level. Yes, he's played in preseason and things like that, but the Steelers are getting a guy who's never played in a real regular season NFL game. But just looking at his preseason stats, because per Pro Football Focus, Previn logged 70 preseason snaps with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2023, seeing snaps on the right side of the defensive line while recording 3 tackles. He also played defensive tackle and some on the left end side as well. In 2022, most of his snaps came as a defensive tackle. But that's it. That's all the experience he has in the preseason and at the NFL level. Coming out of college, he was a player that was kind of noted by Tony Pauline of NFL Network that he was slightly undersized, but he was very explosive. He had quick and burst in his game, and he's very effective with his hands. That was said about him coming out of the draft. but obviously he went undrafted. And now at 27 years old, he will round out the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line depth, but his odds of making the 53-man roster are very long at this point. His 2024 base salary will be $795,000. And like I said, this is now the 91-man roster for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if you're wondering the reason why it's at 91 and not at 90, in which it usually is, it's because the Pittsburgh Steelers have a rookie outside linebacker, Julian Welshoff, as an international exemption player, so it does not count against their off-season 90-man roster. That's why they're allowed to have 91 players right now. So just going over this player. Defensive tackle, Willington Previlon. Like I said, he probably won't make the final roster. He won't make the 53-man roster. He may have a chance to make the Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad, but this is just an opportunity for him. And it's a little bit kind of downing for me personally, just looking at who the Steelers had to cut in order to sign these last two players in Jacob Copeland and this defense tackle, because Trenton Thompson, in his very limited play with the Steelers last season, he made a huge impact. He was able to come in and be a solid player, and I really liked his game and what he was able to do on the football field. So him getting released, it was a little bit disappointing, but obviously if we have to welcome the new players, and the Steelers made a decision. Maybe his neck injury that he suffered last season is not getting better. Who knows? But Trenton Thompson's gone, and it's a little bit disappointing because he played really well in a short time here, but we have to move on. And Denzel Mims, we thought maybe his career could get rejuvenated with the Pittsburgh Steelers because they always do a good job with wide receivers, but no, they end up releasing him 4 days ago at this point. So yes, the Steelers had to release two guys in order to get these last two guys in which they signed, but we have to welcome them with open arms. And defense tackle Willington Previn, he may not make the 53, but he may have a chance to make the practice squad. And we all know practice squad players, as sometimes they have to get called up to the main roster, and sometimes they appear in NFL games. He's yet to appear in an NFL game so far, but sometimes practice squad players do get called up when injuries happen, and they have to stay ready. So this player can see the field if he does make the practice squad. But even if he doesn't make the Pittsburgh Steelers team or practice squad as a whole, at least he's given a chance. He's given a chance to show what he could do at 27 years old, come in, play in the preseason, compete in training camp, and maybe show out for a different team. If he plays well enough, then maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers won't be able to sign him because they already have a good depth at the defense line position. Maybe another team will look at him and be like, hey, he's a player that really did good. And maybe he's a player that we could use on our team, and he could make someone else's 53-man roster, or he could make someone else's practice squad, in which he's done in the past, being on 4 or 5 different teams. So maybe he's not just showing out for the Steelers and kind of playing to make a spot for our team, but he's trying to show out for the NFL in general and stick around this league and maybe end up making a different roster. But it's all about chances. If you're not given a chance, then how are you going to be able to succeed? And that's what Willington Previn is given now, a chance with the Steelers to come in a few weeks, compete in training camp, and then in months compete in the preseason, and then go from there. And this is his chance. He's given another opportunity to stick around the NFL, and we just have to clap it up for him. But this is the Pittsburgh Steelers' final move to get their roster to the max. And with that being said, let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on the signing, this claiming of Willington. Do you like it? The Pittsburgh Steelers claimed him off of waivers. They didn't just sign him. That means that he got released by line to Falcons and immediately picked up by the Steelers. So they must have at least liked and showed interest in him before to be able to do this, because obviously they claimed him and did not sign him. So they really liked him. But anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about this signing. And also, do you think he'll make the 53-man roster? Do you not? Do you believe that he'll make the practice squad? Do you not? Do you think he'll make this team in general? And also, do you believe the Steelers should just kept Trenton Thompson around like I believe? Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like this video and comment down below as well. I've covered everything the Pittsburgh Steelers have done this offseason. Every new player and introduction is on the channel for them. Go ahead and check it out. And I'll continue doing so if we release and sign new players. And I'm coming all training camp, all the highlights, all analysis, all preseason, all regular season, back to the offseason. So subscribe, turn on notifications. I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.